Hey Kingdom, today in Pass of Excel 2 I take Amazon, the class that no one plays this league, but also I will play here with the mace. And yeah, almost no one playing Amazon with the mace. And my goal is simple, to see can we beat all Pass of Excel 2 main bosses and one secret boss with this weird setup. But how do we land it here? Well, I'm Spot, and I like to pick some stupid ideas and see how they can perform in my favorite RPG games. And you probably know Schwingy. He rolls the wheel and play whatever random nonsense he will get. So I just messaged him and asked if he want to collab. We decided that I will pick a weapon, and I think Twisted Empyrean is a nice and fun pick. And then we rolled Schwingy wheels. He landed on a Blood Mage, and I landed on Infernalist first time. Two witches sounds a little bit boring, so I rerolled and landed on Amazon. So meet our today's protagonist, Elsa the Smasher. As huntress, I'm forced to start with the spear, which is cool range weapon that makes leveling so easy. But after arriving into town, I sell all I have to get my shiny mace. I mean this basic stick without any stats. But that's because we agreed that since we can't use Twisted Empyrean till level 70, we need to level with the mace skills at least. And also we agreed that we will play on accounts with already leveled up Atlas, but we won't use any currency and need to farm everything from scratch. Because any build can actually be broken if you invest a mirror into it. And for anyone who doesn't know, Mirror of Calandra is one of the most expensive items in Pass of Excel 2. It used to create a copy of an item. Okay, I guess I just invested mirror into my build. I hope Schwingy is fine with it. At least this thing looks cool in inventory. So let's go! Well, first of all, I need to decide what skill I will use in the beginning, and I think my favorite skill right now will be Rolling Slam, that I used to instantly roll over pack of monsters and meet our new League NPC, Pharaoh. He taught me how to make runes, and after I make runes, it creates bunch of monsters that we need to destroy. And it's pretty easy because Rolling Slam is combo skill in itself. It got 2 slams, and the first slam will deal more stun build up and stun monsters a lot faster, with pretty good damage multiplier. At the same time, the second slam will have even better damage multiplier, but on top of it, it deals more damage against heavy stunned enemies. So if we stun enemies with the first hit, second hit will deal just insane amount of damage. So after I beat bunch of monsters in this new league mechanic, I will get guaranteed rewards, like Orb of Augmentation that I can use on the mace and get added physical damage. Now monsters got no chance. I don't know if Rolling Slam is so good, or it really was worth to invest a mirror into my build already, but it feels so good to demolish these monsters. However, I found Uncut Skill Gem level 1 in Abandoned Camp in Clearfell, and this will change everything. I don't know what Schwingy doing right now, but probably torturing himself trying to survive as witch. But I'm Spot and I like to break RPG games, so look what I will do right now. Teleporting back into town, and instead of trying to get my new skill, I will open community market from the menu. Yes, I don't have enough currency right now to buy any item, but I will just teleport straight to the trader. And this will unlock Ench for me that I supposed to meet only in Act 4. It gives me access to currency exchange, and now I can sell my Uncut Skill Gem for bunch of Chaos Orbs. But if I got 3 of them, I can get 1 Divine, and as far as I can tell, it's slightly more efficient. So I got an idea. First of all, I decided to beat Beera in the first location, and it's not a hard stuff with my awesome skill, Rolling Slam while dual wielding insane maces. She dropped important quest items that I can use for permanent cold resistance. Also, she decided to bless me with insanely OP gloves that I will use in a few levels. Now I want to visit another location in Clearfell, it's called Mud Burrow, which is basically a lair of the big worm boss. I will get 1 more skill gem from him, because I needed for my combination, since I already sold my Uncut Skill Gem level 1. And honestly, while fighting this boss, I started to feel that my build does not feeling like I invested mirror into it. Anyway, 5k likes on this video and I will invest 2 mirrors in the next one. At this point I learned that I can use rolling action for cool animation cancel or change directions of second roll to get away from enemies and then smash them with big second hit, but that's how my main combo look like. It's pretty cool one, because normally it deals no damage, but when enemy is primed for stun, it just explodes him and it melts everyone around. Now back to the plan. I went back to town and then created new instance of Mud Burrow. Take a close look at the time right now, because it takes me just 1 minute to find this runic stone inside Mud Burrow, and it's super fast to clear these stupid maggots with my awesome skill combination right now. Here I always pick Uncut Skill Gem and destroy just 1 pack of monsters in 10 seconds. To get guaranteed Uncut Skill Gem level 1. Yep, you guessed it right, in next 10 minutes I created my starting capital. Surprisingly good farm for level 1 character. Now I guess I can go through campaign like knife going through the butter, and we definitely see it on this Bramble Gust, he got obliterated in a few seconds. One of the reasons is my new support gem that I installed into Rolling Slam, it's called Bring, and it gives me ability to never stun enemies while building up stun faster, and when this stun meter lights up, monsters will take nice chunk of damage from Bone Shatter. So that's powerful and fail-proof way to activate my combination. Also, I added Fist of War to Rolling Slam, and it gives me ability to deal a lot more damage every 6 seconds. This blue-greenish effect is exactly Fist of War. And then for Bone Shatter I added Impact Shockwave and Rapid Attacks to deal more damage and do it faster. With this setup I quickly primed for stun boss in the Red Whale, quickly stunned him, and then with just few Rolling Slams he disappeared, granting me access to Cemetery, but first of all there is Mushroom Kingdom on my way. And yeah, I know, this area called Grim Tangle, but Mushroom Kingdom sounds better. Anyway, this area is important because I can get guaranteed Uncut Skill Gem level 3 by clearing Runic Stone, this new leak mechanic. And while I could use it to upgrade my existing skills, I actually will create one more new one. It will be Wing Blast. To use it I bought Talisman and switched it to Wyvern mod on my second weapon set. And now look how it works. Against basic monsters I got no problem deleting them with my Bone Shatter. But against bosses it got no use, so now when boss is primed for stun I will use Wing Blast to stun him, and then I will use Rend, which is basic Wyvern attack. It gives me insane bonus electrical damage and it melts bosses in seconds. And yes, I use mirrored weapon still, but trust me, you can do it with normal weapon. By the way, you may noticed that I use one more skill, and it called Infernal Cry, and I just use it before running Slam versus bosses to get a lot of extra damage as fire. This combination already kinda doubling or tripling or even quadrupling my damage. Versus Lachan, for example, I opened with exactly this setup, then I completely bugged out and avoided his attack and politely asked him to never charge at me. So this full combination completely melts bosses, and coolest part, right now they starting to drop some valuable items, these low tier runes for example, that people willing to buy for 50 exalts, that I completely don't need right now, and it just fuels my economy. What I need is survivability, because it's hard to engage monsters at this point, and best defense is offense, so I decided to test this new tool, Hammer that completely balanced. Look, every time I use slam attacks, it creates aftershock, which is basically mirror of this attack, so with full buffs, even if I miss first attack, it completely destroys boss while I'm charging next attack. That's completely brutal. Also, this guy dropped Uncut Spirit Gems that can be sold for 120 exalts, but I'm so absurdly rich, so I decided to create Herald of Ash instead, because I like these funny explosions when I destroy enemies. Then I decided to test another leveling weapon. As you know, we will try to aim for Twisted Empyrean, and it will convert all fire damage to cold damage. So I found another broken early game weapon which called Frost Breath, and it makes all damage contribute to freeze build up, so I freeze enemies a lot faster. Still need to figure out how to survive when I ambushed, but if you think I used broken weapons to completely obliterate Act 1, no. I decided to play it fair and faced Jenner with mirror tier bonk sticks. Oh, nice. Jeez, I'm doing damage. Of course I'm doing damage. We got mirror tier gear. Yeah, that's how mirror tier build will look like. Oh, come on. Okay, second stage. Nice. Now come here, Mr. Wolf. Okay. He tried to avoid me instantly. Oh no, don't go into this phase. Okay. Can I time it? Nice. Nice. Okay, boom. Bone Shatter still helps. Oh, by the way, I never saw how they disappear like this. So cool. Look, look, look. Boom, and they BAM! Yeah, it's cool. Nice animation. That's what makes Pixel 2 amazing, these little touches. Now let's focus. Oh, bro, you missed. That's easy. Now coming back. And now you're opened. Prime for stun. Boom. No magic for you, Mr. Wolf. Oh, jeez. Give me more damage. Okay. Oh, nice. And stun. I like this combination. It feels so good. And he is done. No, no, no. That's actually so dangerous. Jeez. This stupid race can kill me. Oh no. Come on. This was a little bit more stronger than previous ones. Boom. Bam, bam, bam. I like it. Oh. I don't want to attack. I can get caught right now. And boom. Okay, okay, okay. We're surviving or not? Okay. And you're out, my friend. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. We did it. And still, we're using mirror tier gear. Anyway, after beating Count Janor, I got access to Act number 2. Here I need to forfeit my mirror tier gear and start using uniques that I already showed to you. Because I want to make a cool and powerful build and break the game, instead of breaking my sanity. At the start of Act 2 I mostly used weapon with extra aftershocks, but then I noticed something cool. When I do critical hit, bosses just disappear. Since I'm Amazon, it sounds so cool, and I guess this will be my main scaling point. Still, this mostly for endgame. Right now I need to decide what skills I will use as my main skills to crit with, and while my fire skills will be converted to cold damage, I decided to focus only on fire skills. I'm really curious what Schwingy doing right now in Act 2, but I decided to stick with Molten Blast. It's a range attack. Yeah, we can do range attack with a mace, and that's so cool. I fire a fireball that hits enemies and then shrapnel to enemies nearby. And that's where I switched to dual wielding these icy maces. And basically, when I throw fireball, it contributes to chill and freeze, and enemies are frozen. On top of it, it does not convert my damage to cold damage, so I am igniting enemies at the same time. It actually Temo Twisted Empyrean, I would call it. And since all damage contributes to freeze buildup, I added Volt Support Gem. It adds extra damage as lightning damage on top of my attacks, and that makes my fireballs completely brutal. Just look over here, it just obliterates wall screens. Later in this act I will add extra support gems, and it will be elemental armaments on all my skills for extra damage, and for my fireball it will be rapid attacks. But most important part in Act 2 is our Ascendancy trials, of course, so I attempted Trials of Sekimos, where the most difficult part is to keep your honor ready, because when I take damage it will reduce my honor, and when it reduced completely I'm dead. Normally it's a little bit hard as melee character, but I'm not completely melee, so I easily froze last boss, come close, and he exploded. Yeah, it was dangerous, but I survived and we finished the boss. And of course it's Amazon, because that's what I rolled for. And I instantly picked this branch with predatory instinct. And from now on, bosses will have these weird parts of their life bar. And when I attack them while they live inside this life bar, I will do a lot more damage. That's basically how it works. And it's sometimes completely brutal, especially if I can land a critical hit at this point. Also, this build feels insanely crazy. Just look, he is frozen, now he only starts to fight, but he instantly stunned, and then I got a lot of extra damage and just melt the boss. Just like that, I cleared all the Act 2 bosses and fixed my damage problems with Greater Storm runes later. So Gemonara normally is actually quite a hard boss for most builds, but with my setup, he is just instantly frozen, then almost instantly perma-stunned, and removed from existence by a bunch of rolling slams. And I continued to use same strategy in the third act, and look at these crits, they're just brutal. Anyway, I helped some adventurers to deal with small gorilla, and they showed the way for my next objective, a big two-headed chimera. Alright, let's boom here. Oh no, I'm frozen! Oh, that was close. Now you're dead, my little beast friend. Oh, jeez, perma stuns. And boom! Oh my goodness. That was nasty crit. Okay. Wait a little, my friend. Let me insert this stuff. Now you're free to go. So basically, same weapons, same playstyle, same combination carried me through this act super easily. It was a blast and it was super fun to play, but at the same time I unlocked a little bit more spirit and got Herald of Ice, so my clear speed was a little bit better, and everything was super smooth and fun and cool until I meet this boss. So this fat lady is actually pretty annoying by herself, but at the same time that's where I start noticing that I'm kinda not dealing enough damage. So if it's not critical hits, bosses are not melting super fast. It's still fast, but not super fast. Luckily, I got solution how to fix it, so after reaching level 38, I went back to town to use new leak mechanic, Verisium Anvil. I can drop my useless old uniques over here and upgrade them. This will transform super weak low tier mace into a really powerful weapon with some crazy damage numbers. And it not only fixed my damage, but at the same time it made it so enormous that I don't even need to wing blast at this point. Look. She's just dead in one combination kinda. That basically was my main dilemma right now, but when enemy is frozen, it actually stops stun meter a little bit. And even if I can unleash insane damage right now, later I will fall out, because there's no more upgrades for this type of weapon, so I decided to stick with the same strategy at least while I'm in the campaign. And just like that, I went into act number 4. And the first thing I did here was fighting this brain rot shark. I instantly removed it in one combination and got shark fin, which I took straight into Ngakano. Previously it was completely useless fin, but right now we need to go over here. Oh, what's up, Pumbas? And bringing this shark fin to the lady who thinks she is Morpheus, I pick a red pill. I mean Combs lesson. That is really powerful survival buff that I will need. Still, at this point, my combination still works and I destroy bosses before they go into annoying phases. And just for fun, I switched from one weapon type to another. So extra aftershocks works, this freezing maces also works, by just perma-stunning and freezing enemies, and no matter what I do, it's just fun. So I got plenty of time to just see a good cool place and decide to take a cool screenshot over here. However, I found a secret. I don't know if you knew this, but here is the secret chest behind the waterfall. I don't know, it's pretty cool, but let's not forget that I already forgot to get next ascendancy points. So I went back to act number 3 and attempted Trials of Chaos. It can be kinda hard, but by using range attack I managed to survive and beat all main trials. So it was time for the main boss, and as you can see, damage damage is just awesome. And you're probably wondering why my damage is not becoming worse and how I managed to basically obliterate every single enemy I see over here in the end of Act 4 by keeping the same weapons. So let me explain. Even though I farmed a bunch of divines already, I haven't used them a lot. I only bought Horns of Abundance for my leveling for some rage generation and Wake of Destruction for some extra lightning damage to my attacks. But there's nothing game breaking over here, so it's time to actually break the game because I'm Spot.
Pay attention, you just may learn something here.
So look, first of all, I make sure I always deal enough damage of different element types with Painter Servant gloves, as well as gaining extra elemental damage, which gives me ability to constantly apply different elemental ailments. To be more precise, there's 4 of them that I can apply constantly. And then I got Yoke of Suffering, which increases my elemental damage, but also increases elemental damage taken for each elemental ailment on enemy, and I got 4 of them in most cases. With Instilled Stormbreaker, I will increase my elemental damage by 80 more %, and by taking Harness of Elements by 80 more % more, yes. And by taking these notes over here, I will increase my elemental damage by around like 100%. It basically quadrupling my damage 2 times, and you may check my full build on Mobalytics if you wish to. I'm feeling bad for Shrinky right now, he probably playing fair and struggling, but anyway. Let's not forget I need to get this really important buff for me, which will increase regeneration from mana flasks. And after getting everything I need, I tried to experiment with a bunch of skills what we will use later on, because my damage is more than enough. At the same time, I was pretty lucky and got a bunch of divine orbs while I'm still playing campaign. And spirit gems that can be sold for 3 divines. Okay, there's actually a lot of valuable stuff lying in the campaign, and I used all of them to convert my currency to divine orbs at this point, so I got enough to jumpstart my adventures when I finally reach the maps. And of course I will reach it super soon and super easy, where we will finally try to figure out how to fix our main problem, which is our survival, because boss damage is definitely not a problem. And just like that, keeping the same strategy, I reached Endgame, where normal people grind, but I went into microtransaction shop and bought this awesome showcase case, before going straight into the build lab. So here I'm basically testing how my build works and how damage scales. While dual wielding, we definitely dealing more damage, but damage scales pretty weirdly. I won't go too much into detail, but with one-handed weapon I'm dealing half the damage. However, don't forget I can equip something like Scepter that will add some extra damage on top. And now, even without dual wielding, my damage is kinda the same, but at the same time I will get extra spirit from Scepter. Molten Blast, for example, will throw 2 fireballs instead of 1 while dual wielding, and that's cool. But other skills will just deal more damage while having less attack speed, something like this. All skills react differently to dual wielding, but I think my main combination will be to create bunch of fissures, then drop hammer, then warcry, and then just slam, slam and slam to create these aftershocks. So that's how my main combination will look like against bosses. Well, when I will figure out how to survive. Anyway, full combination, if boss is frozen, will completely melt him, because that's like triple, quadruple damage on top. And I guess it's time for grind. I will use basic irradiated tablets and Doriani as my master to increase effectiveness of monsters and get additional revival just for the safety. And yes, I will need it. It's just Waystone tier 1, but still it's area level 66, while I'm just level 59. So I'm right now on experience penalty. At the same time, it's hard to sustain damage in most cases, and I'm losing bottles constantly, so I need to get back to town and replenish them. If I meet a Rogue Exile at this point, we engage in some Marvel-style battle, and it's super long and hard, and barely surviving, I managed to defeat them. In some cases, not in all cases, but yeah, it's basically super hard at this point. But if I find a shrine, it completely changes everything, because I can have more damage, more sustain, faster attack speed, and just melt enemies super easily. Bosses, is not a problem at this point still, we got really nice boss damage. Mostly I decided to ignore all the content beside Abyss guys. These green fellas is actually pretty good, because if they got this Amanamo Void multiplier, I can easily take them out of the cloud, and if they defeat it out of the cloud, they drop really precious loot that can be sold nicely. But mostly I get my currency from tablets. Basically, if I got tablets, I use augmentation and transmutation orb, then I check price, and if it's good, I can sell it right now. But since my atlas is already upgraded, I can use Orb of Alchemy or any other orbs. Still, they are not selling instantly, and I got bunch of divines, so I went to trade market and searched for items with good resistances. Honestly, that's everything I need right now. Good utility belt with resistances and bunch of rings. I spent leftover divines on bunch of charms, golden one with primal spirit and this silver charm of axe. Luckily, armor is pretty cheap because I'm out of divines already, so let's test the build. And with full resistances capped, as you can see, it's completely different story. Instead of dying into hits, now I can completely normally sustain packs of monsters and defeat them, which gives me ability to defeat harder Abyss monsters and get really good loot, nice tablets, divine orbs and stuff like that. And it's very good because on some maps Abyss guys in the boss pit, and it creates some really wacky and crazy situations when there's a bunch of green guys, there's bosses all at the same time, and that's really hard if you don't have enough resistances. Eventually I found Untamed Paradise map, and that's the map with great experience gain bonus. So here I will just beat a bunch of monsters, and it's insanely easy map, because monsters are super easy over here. However, my experience fly like I'm still on the Act 1, and in no time I get to the level 70. That's a luxury level, because finally the grind is kinda over, and I can equip Twisted Empyrean. At least that's what I thought. It needs a lot of strength to equip. Luckily I'm pretty rich, so I bought Soul Core to change attribute requirements, and now I can equip it. Now let's quickly examine what this mace provides us. It gives us a lot of maximum mana, pretty good extra cold damage, and nice critical hit chance, which is all good stats for Amazon. But at the same time, I can have my damage is taken from mana before life, so I can use mana as my extra life pool, and at the same time, attacks will have extra cold damage based on my maximum mana. So there's a lot of synergy with mana already, and even just by equipping this mace, I'm already amazed. First of all, my fireballs became frost balls, and my fissures became ice fissures. It looks cool, it's amazing, and it's actually fun, and it destroys enemies. So while I was testing skills, I'm selling tail blades nicely, and also this mace got a really cool and secret skill. First of all, I need to freeze bunch of enemies to generate glory, and now I can use it. It looks like this, it creates bunch of fissures and fallen stars. Looks cool, deals pretty nice damage, and it's super special skill. In combination against bosses, it's also very cool and satisfying. When boss is frozen, I use this ultimate skill, and it's so cool. So I decided to test my skills on level 14 Waystone, I mean tier 14. Here it starts to become a little bit harder, but still I'm doing damage to bosses, I'm not dying, and I think we kinda completed Endgame, because I can farm on tier 15, tier 14 Waystones. At the same time, this fight is really special, because after defeating these bosses, I hear the sound, and look what we got over here. I guess we beat the game. After identification, I found that this belt will go for 100 divines. I sold it and bought really nice and precious rings. They cost a lot, but they give me a lot of maximum mana, which will scale my Twisted Empyrean. But what can be better than one Twisted Empyrean? 2 Twisted Empyreans. And I can do it with Bringer of Rain. It will block me from using body armor, but I don't need it because I will increase evasion from my helmet, boots and gloves, because I'm Amazon. Also, I reminded myself about build lab and found that I get a lot better damage by using Scepter. Of course, by dual wielding, I could utilize this damage taken from mana before life, but there's a rune with the same effect that can be socketed in body armor. I don't have body armor, but it's not a problem, because Bringer of Rain acts as body armor itself. So I dropped Rune over there and decided to switch my passive tree. First of all, I bought nice Megalomaniac with bonus to critical hits and damage taken from mana before life. I spec'd into a lot of nodes that gives me bonuses when Flask effect is active, and Flask is always active because I'm using Lavianka Spirits. I'm increasing my maximum mana from my support gems and using it as my life by some other passive nodes, and I used from nothing with Chaos Inoculation Radius. And I became even richer while I was buying items by selling tablets. So I bought support gems to finish my build, and cool news, by using Scepter I can use a lot of buffs and they won't use any spirit from Purity of Ice. There was only one disappointment at this point, and that's ultimate skill of Twisted Empyrean. For some reason on controller it's hard to aim, and as you can see it completely misses the boss. But still I'm fine, because when boss is frozen, well, he's gone, basically gone. However, I decided to improve my Twisted Empyrean, because on Anvil there's secret recipe that you can use to upgrade it. So I upgraded it to get more cold damage, and that's just luck based. So I thought I will freeze enemies a lot better right now. However, it was not the case for some reason, and I freezed them a lot worse. So I went back to my previous Twisted Empyrean, and it started to be a little bit better. Don't know how it works, why it works like that, and that's why we're not stopping here too much. Anyway, I enjoying my build, and I bought a bunch of cool Jewels to increase power, and that's basically how typical tier 15 mapping looks like. We're running forward, dropping fissures, destroying them, and basically having fun. Also, I decided to visit Instilling Tree and used Melancholy, Envy and Fear for a secret combination that gives me attack speed and evasion rating. And as you can see, I got new amulet. That really helps me to defeat monsters at this point. I went to Trials of Chaos to get my extra points for Ascendancy, because I'm ready to finish the game. And after beating 10 trials, I got access to my 6 points. I used it to get this extra critical hit damage, and damage increased by a lot. Then after completing trials few more times, I went to Trial Master. And he's actually just point giver, I would say, because it was super easy to stack bunch of fissures and completely annihilate him. To get access for my last points, as Mary Brew. Now my mana flasks will also restore my life and vice versa, and I basically got infinite mana at this point. So we finished, and I went straight to Hive Colony to defeat bunch of mini bosses over here. They are easy, but they dropping Breach Lord Sack that gives access to the Zesht, and that's our final, main and most important boss, and that's the secret boss we will try to fight before going for Doriani right now. Oh, nice. He's not freezing really good, but damage is fine, 4 millions already. Not bad. Oh, frozen! Boom! My friend Zesht, I guess you're out. Come on. Oh, you're a mole? Get out. Jeez, I'm feeling good. Build feels fine and fun and strong. And you're out. Come on. Boom. Whoa! Really? So we will freeze even better right now and do more damage? Yeah, after getting another super rare item, I decided to see, can I get Raketa Flow? Yeah, I did not, but it would be insanely funny if I would get Headhunter, Tool Stillness and Raketa on the same run on the same character in like matter of like few hours. But anyway, I'm going for last bosses in Citadels before fighting our first pinnacle boss, Arbiter of Ash. As you can see, it's going really well, especially with Tool Stillness, which gives me extra chaos damage and improving my overall freezing ability with my skills. But remember, I told you I switched amulet, so I'm using Pandemonius right now, which gives me penetration of cold damage, 75% penetration. The problem, penetration can go only down to 0, so if enemy does not have any cold resistance, it's basically useless. And I decided to combine it with Leopold Applause, that gives me ability ability to penetrate enemies down to -50, to deal 50% more damage to them. That's completely crazy, and I guess we're ready to face Arbiter of Ash. After dropping 3 tablets that I just got from 3 pinnacle bosses, we're going to ascend to his tower and fight this awesome pinnacle boss. Alright, let's do it. Force Edict already burns. My fissures already chills. Oh, jeez. Oh, you're a cheater, Mr. Arbiter of Ash. Oh, this bro. Okie dokie. And that last one. Get down. Boom. No. Okay, need to be careful. This thing will one-shot me. Oh, you're transforming. Okay. And there's one more nearby. That's cool. Oh. Jeez, I'm so tanky. Oh, frozen. Boom. The ultimate. I can face tank him. Jeez, this build is super tanky. Oh my goodness. Okie dokie. I guess you're out, my friend. Come on. You can't do anything to me. Bye. If you think I did it first time, well, it was second attempt, because GG decided to tweak his abilities and make them easier to avoid. However, I was so good at him that it became actually harder for me. Anyway, I went straight to Matriarch and Patriarch Hall, and after a few fights I got enough tablets to go straight for the main tower, where I created a core to go upstairs, ascend elevator, and then remember that I forgot the core down there. Luckily there was no server reset, and we are trying to fight the last and main pinnacle boss, Arbiter of Divinity. Okie dokie guys, let's do it. He should not be super hard, I guess, but... But he can be hard sometime. Can I freeze you, my friend? And now, boom, the combination! Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! What's with my life? Okay, I need to be careful. Oh, jeez. Hope. Whoop. Nice one. Oh, just forgot. He will attack. Where are you? Okay, he's going to second phase. It can be a mess, or maybe I can freeze him. Let's cover wall area. Oh, he's super fast. That's bad. Oh, Mace is not very fast. But now you're opened. Oh yeah. Boom! Yes! This stupid attack always missing when I need it. Actually, freezing is nice. And chilling. At least he's like slow. Oh. These clowns are also slower. It feels a lot better to avoid. Now give me the power. And boom! All clones are gone. So he decided to create new one. Anyway. Where are you running, my friend? Oh, just need to be careful. Careful. Come on. Come on. Where is the real one? Can I just hit these fissures? I guess I will do it like this. Oh, he's done. Just like that, we beat it, Boss of Excel 2, with Amazon with Twisted Empyrean. But how Schwingy will do it? You actually can check his video on the screen right now and see you there.